just going to go over Polk 4-H, what you need to know. We sent out a survey earlier this summer, I believe in August, and just kind of to see what people maybe don't know and how they're getting their information. So our hope is that this is informative and you're able to get something out of it. Maybe if I can switch slides. We'll start off with some introductions. Megan, you're first.
Hi everyone, my name is Megan Friel. I am the 4-H and Family Life Educator for Polk County Extension. So I work primarily with our 4-H program, and then I also do some of our family life programs. But as far as 4-H is concerned, I'm primarily in charge of youth enrollment, our Polk County Council, the club service projects, outreach events, our team building program, and the Clover Dash 5K. Madison is not with us right now. She is actually out on maternity leave. She had her baby, I believe about 7 weeks ago, named Rory. So she'll be joining us again in January. But she primarily covers volunteer management, after school programming, county awards, and adult enrollment. And if you'll notice, there's some initials after those. So Marcy has taken over volunteer management and adult enrollment, and I've taken over after school programming and county awards until Madison is back with us.
And my name is Marcy Vincent. I'm the other county youth coordinator. My responsibilities mainly include Polk County Fair Board, County Fair website, area and state opportunities, livestock superintendents, YQCA, which also stands for the Youth for the Quality Care of Animals, and then a lot of the livestock and animal related questions. We also have 3 state specialists that serve Polk County. And Tiffany Burkiness, Lisa Green, and then Mary Sue. And Mary Sue is actually on with us tonight. Mary Sue, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I actually office in Dallas County, and that's where I'm at this evening. But not only do I work with Polk and Dallas, but I also work with Warren and Madison counties. So glad to see you here tonight.
Awesome. Making sure I have all the things that I need up, ready to go. All right, so we will move on to the next slide. Megan, I believe this one is yours.
Yep. So I just wanted to give you a brief overview of Polk County 4-H. We have a program year that runs September 1st through August 31st of each year. Currently in Polk County, we have approximately 59 4-H clubs and Clover Kids groups together, which consist of more than 750 members yearly. I think our max has been like 913. Last year we were just around 800. Our office is located in Altoona. It's at 1625 Adventureland Drive. If you know where the Big Steer is, we are right next door. And forms of communication that we have. So if you're enrolled in 4-H, you'll get a monthly Clover Power email. That is our newsletter that kind of covers everything that's going on during the month. We also have our Polk County 4-H Facebook page. We have a Snapchat that the County Council kids created for us to use during county fair and different county events. And then we also have an Instagram and a Twitter that's not listed there. And you'll also get correspondence through that email address that you list in 4-H Online as events happen. So you got an email about this happening. If you're a Clover Kid leader or parent, you got an email today about Clover Kids countywide meetings. We have some member expectations. So we expect every year that members will enroll in 4-H Online and pay their yearly enrollment fee, but they'll follow club bylaws of membership. Those differ from club to club. Not all of them have the same bylaws. Some of them don't have bylaws. And that youth abide by the Youth Code of Ethics that is signed when they enroll in 4-H Online. So 4-H is designed for youth and their families to have the freedom to control their experience to best meet their goals and the developmental needs of the youth.
Like Megan said, there are different, I was gonna say one thing, if you have any questions, as we go and we're talking, you can either raise your hand and one of us can unmute you and pause for a second. Otherwise you can also use the chat where we are monitoring that too as we present. So back to club requirements. So this is what Iowa 4-H and Polk County 4-H require our clubs to do. So the 4-H club learning community structure is intended to be flexible, but there are a few things that they must meet. The first one is every club must have 5 youth enrolled, and they must be from at least 3 different families. Conduct a minimum of 6 regular learning community gatherings per year, with many holding 9 to 12 regular activities throughout most of the year. Gatherings often include, but not limited to, business meetings, project meetings, camps, service learning opportunities, and other 4-H learning activities. Select officers. So this would be for our 4-H clubs and not our Clover kids. So select officers to provide direction for their club. And I believe most of our 4-H clubs do. The ones that don't at this point, they're working on their newer clubs with some younger members, so they're working on their structure. Keep project, meeting, and financial records. Are advised by an adult volunteer with who has been screened and trained by us. And each club implements specific requirements, like Megan said. Some clubs do have bylaws that might have a little bit more information or requirements than we as a county do.
Polk County 4-H uses the program priorities that Iowa 4-H and National 4-H have, and they're broken down into STEM, healthy living, leadership and civic engagement, and communication and the arts. For STEM, that would be projects like woodworking, livestock falls under there, mechanics, horticulture and floriculture, robotics. Healthy living is food and nutrition projects or other health-related projects. There's child development, citizenship and civic engagement in the leadership and civic engagement program. And communication and the arts consists of our communication event, sewing and needle arts, photography, and visual arts, to name a few. So any learning done by a youth will fit into a program priority area, and in return can also become a fair project that they can bring to the county fair. There is a full listing of fair classes found in our fair book, which is online at our Polk County Fair website. And it's updated every year in March. So right now, that's the fair book from last year. And then this March, we will update and have a 2021 fair book.
Maybe I can get to the right one. There we go. So now we're just going to kind of go through month by month of what you can expect at the county level. So what requirements do we have? What different events do we have going on? So we're just going to kind of go through month by month. So the month of September, this is when enrollment starts. So enrollment starts September 15th on a normal year. This year, however, that was not the case as we switch over to 4-H Online 2.0. So if some of you have enrolled, we hope that you find it a little bit more user-friendly. If not, now is the time to take and re-enroll both you and your youth if you are an adult leader. And for 4-H, there is a $40 fee, cash, check, or credit card online. You can pay with credit card. We also have the 4-H Foundation. So if financial support is needed to pay these fees, that is always an option. And you can contact Megan or I, or if you just look Iowa 4-H Foundation, it's fee assistance. Our Clover kids are $5, and that once again can be cash, check, or credit card online to pay those fees. County Council is the next one. So County Council is a group of 9th through 12th grade youth, and they meet monthly and they do a lot of different community service opportunities throughout our county as well as during the county fair. And so applications are those due. Normally it's the first Wednesday, or they meet. I guess I kind of put two things together. So applications are usually due the first Wednesday of September. And they also meet the first Wednesday of the month. So I think that's why we kind of kept those two things together there. And interviews usually happen a week later. This year we have 27 members on our county council, and they represent a wide variety of the county. So.
In October, or at least the start of October, it's National 4-H Week. National 4-H Week falls on the first full week of October. And usually we celebrate that here in Polk County by doing a bunch of different things. We have some social media things. We ask 4-Hers to wear green or 4-H apparel to school so that they can help spread the word. This year, I know we had some clubs paint windows, for local businesses to celebrate National 4-H Week, and other clubs do different activities as well. There's also the Polk County 4-H and FFA Fair Association annual meeting, which actually occurred last night for this year, where they elect the new people to the Fair Board for the next 3 years. Our Polk County Fair Board meets on the third Wednesday of the month at 7:30 p.m. That location has been a little flexible lately just due to our office being closed, but they have been able to still meet in person a majority of the time. The Fair Board is made up of 24 members that serve 3-year terms. Elections of these members is held at the annual meeting, and any Polk County resident who is over the age of 18 is able to vote. Fair Board members serve as our livestock superintendents, and they plan the Polk County Fair. Another thing that happens in October is our annual awards. Award applications are due on October 1st. And then those youth have interviews later in the month. They're usually a Tuesday and a Thursday night, but if they're not available on Tuesday or Thursday, we can make exceptions and arrange interviews outside of that time. Awards are available in a lot of different categories. Project awards, you can get an award in any of those projects that I talked about earlier. We also have a citizenship award, leadership award. Youth can nominate other youth for a peer award. So if someone in their club is being an exemplary member, they can nominate them to receive a peer award. There's the Life Skills Award, which is for seniors who have graduated and are now out in the world. They can apply for that award. We have a Caring Adult Award. So this is youth nominating an adult that has made an impact on their 4-H experience. We also have Banner Club. Banner Club is a points system for 4-H clubs throughout the year. They can get points by having meetings, by keeping a secretary's book, by doing community service. There's a lot of different options. We also have a Clover Dash 5K scholarship that is given to a graduating senior or seniors, depending on the amount of applicants. The Clover Dash Club Grant is also an option. Clubs can apply for that to receive up to $500 for community service projects. There are record book awards as well for the youth that have kept a record book over the last year. All current 5th through 12th graders are eligible to apply for awards. If they learn something, they can apply. So they didn't have to have taken a project to fair to apply for an award in that category. You can apply for a woodworking project and not have done a woodworking project at the fair. Awards are for learning done during the entirety of the program year. And if you want more information, it's on our website, where you can also find application examples and rubrics. And the youth that receive awards get prizes such as a certificate, they get a project pin, and then they get a gift card as well.
All right. So the month of November, like Megan was just talking about, was our awards. So we hold a ceremony for those every year. This year, our ceremony is going to look a little bit different, but it's still, the kids are still going to have an opportunity to come pick up their awards and be recognized. Yes, our recognition will be done virtually. And those postcards actually just went out in the mail to those who did do awards. Those postcard invites of what our plan is are coming to you in the mail. Typically, it's held on the second Sunday of November. Another thing in November is our club officer training. So this is hosted by County Council. This training is designed to help youth understand their roles in their club officer positions. So we get together, we do a large group parliamentary procedure, and then we take off and we break off into those officer positions. Once again, this year is looking a little different. It will be held over the course of 2 nights, and we've split up the officer positions. So we have 3 offices one night, 3 offices the other. We were trying to think of families who might have multiple officers so that they don't have to fight over bandwidth or devices or anything like that. So if you do have someone who's a club officer, this is a great opportunity for them to learn what is required in their position. Enrollment. Enrollment due by November 15th. So yes, technically you can enroll through May 15th. However, we do offer club incentives for anyone who can have 90, or any club who can have 90% of their club re-enrolled by this date. I believe that we're looking at pushing that date a little bit back further, probably to December 15th, just because our enrollment system opened about a month later than it normally does.
Not a lot of stuff happens in December, but we do have our beef weigh-ins. This is for any market beef cattle that plan to show at the state fair or county fair. They must be tagged and weighed in during this time. We utilize the cattle barn at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. And then once those cattle are weighed and tagged, they will need to be verified in your 4-H online account by February 1st.
Hopefully, if the state fair approves and allows us to have it, the date, we picked a date last night of the fair board meeting, and those weigh-ins should be happening on December 12th is the date we are currently looking at. Leads me to January. So like Megan was saying, December is a little slow. January is just a little bit slower, but this is a great month to start working on some of those fair exhibits, record books, state award applications, which is on our next slide. So state awards, this is for anyone 9th through 12th grade, and the applications are due on the 1st of February, and you can apply for project, or I guess I should get through my stuff here first. I was trying to jump the gun. Applications due electronically on February 1. Interviews are held usually towards the end of March. It's a great opportunity for youth to interview. It's a panel of interviewers. Last year, I think it was one of the first things that I did virtually, as they took and they switched that over to virtually pretty darn quickly. So 9th through 12th grade, like I said, and the different opportunities that they can apply for is State 4-H Council. So State 4-H Council, usually they select 40 youth from all over the state to plan different statewide events. So it's a great leadership opportunity as well to get to know, or as well as a chance to get to know people from all over the place. National Congress Congress is a trip to Atlanta, Georgia. Unfortunately, that one is not happening this year due to COVID, but hopefully it comes back better and stronger in the future. Normally 20-ish kids are selected to attend on that trip. National Conference is a trip to Washington, D.C., where youth have an opportunity to meet and interact with politicians, as well as meet people from all over the United States. That one is about 5 kids that usually attend that one. State project awards, much like our county awards that happened in the month of October here. Yeah, those are the same thing. You can take and apply for those same awards. Shooting sports ambassadors. If someone has an interest in shooting sports, they're essentially the state council members and do the same thing, only thing with a shooting sports focus. 4-H state reporters, they work with our arts and communication specialists at the state, and they take and make commercials and publications and different things like that. So for the people who are graduating seniors, Iowa 4-H Foundation College Scholarships, great way to get some money to help pay for college. Those are due online February 1st.
When March comes around, we have the Youth for the Quality Care of Animals, or YQCA classes. This is required for any youth who plans to show any of the following animals: so cattle, sheep, swine, goats, both dairy and meat, rabbit, and poultry. So any animal that could be a part of the food chain. We, as an extension office, offer 2 face-to-face classes that are held in March. And those are usually staggered around spring break and not during spring break. So if families are going out of town, they can do that and do a class later. And if they aren't going out of town, we have one usually during spring break for them. And then those are only a cost of $3. There's also an online class and test available for anyone, but that does have a cost of $12.
In the month of April, we have our swine tagging day. All swine that plan to exhibit at the Polk County Fair must attend this day. Some of the other species are allowed to go to other counties to be weighed in. However, that's not the case with swine. Swine's a little bit different because every county tends to do it a little differently. So that is one of the reasons why they must come to our county to be tagged. This happens at the sheep barn at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. It's a really nice system. You pull in through the barn and tag the animals and good to go. Once again, just like the cattle, all our staff here in the office will get those entered into 4-H online. However, they need to be verified by May 15th. And if I would have been thinking, I would have put a date in here because that date is already set. So give me just a second to pull up my calendar and I can tell you that one. April 17th will be the date for the swine tagging.
And in May, we have our sheep and goat weigh-ins. So any sheep or goat that plan to show at the state or county fair must be tagged and weighed in. For this, we do utilize the sheep barn at the state fairgrounds. And then much like all of our other animals that have to be tagged and weighed, they will need to be verified in 4-H online by May 15th. May 15th is a big date in 4-H land. May 15th is the date that all livestock IDs are due. All 4-Hers must be enrolled. It's also the date that King and Queen applications are due. However, you can do all of that before May 15th. You don't have to wait until May 15th to do these things. Technology tends to be a big issue, and a lot of people wait until May 15th and then are using the system at the same time, which can crash 4-H online. So we suggest trying to do it a little bit before May 15th if you can.
I was going to say, you could do it today, except for in the new version, they don't quite have the livestock components open yet. So fingers crossed that they have that done before beef opens, beef weigh-ins. So hopefully we have that going for us. One thing, the date for the sheep and goat weigh-ins that is also set, and that will be held on May 1st. Month of June, once again, another kind of sparse one for events, because a lot of times we're getting ready to do summer programming around here and don't have a whole lot of set in stone things. So King and Queen interviews. This is one component of the county fair. Applications are due on the May 15th, but King Queen interviews happen during this month, and Polk County 4-H'ers or clubs can nominate a king and a queen candidate. They need to be 16 years or older by the start of the Iowa State Fair that year is the requirement for that. And then the month of July, our busy one. Entries for the Polk County Fair and the Iowa State Fair are due July 1st. Both of those entries are completed via fair entry. It's an all online system where you can pay via credit card to do both of those. If you ever have any questions about those processes, just let our office know and we can help you with those. So the Polk County Fair happens in mid-July. We hold our fair at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. And the buildings that we use on a normal year are the Sheep Barn, the Jacobson Arena, the Horse Barn, and the 4-H exhibit building. I am looking very forward to, and I think Megan is as well, the new 4-H building, newly remodeled. I got a sneak peek during the county fair this year, and it's very pretty. So yeah, excited to use that. And once again, the website for almost everything related to the fair, polkcountyfairiowa.com. Just worked on getting that updated today. The fair board members who were elected last night, they are now listed on that as well.
So some of our fair events that are non-animal livestock related are our building exhibits. And in our building, we do have clothing. We have a clothing event as well as the clothing project area. We have sewing and needle arts, home improvement, food and nutrition, photography, visual arts and music, horticulture and floriculture, ag, animals and natural resources, science, engineering and technology, the communication event, the clothing event, and we also have a shooting sports event that doesn't happen during the fair, but they are recognized during the fair.
Yes, so fair events, once again, non-livestock related. So building exhibits. The first one here is project versus exhibit. I was like, if I was smart, I would have had this loaded up a little bit better for myself. I'm going to put a document into the chat. I have so many screens going on, I'm getting lost. Just wait a second. But essentially it is a help sheet on what the difference is between a project and an exhibit. And the best way to put it is if this ball, sorry, it's the only thing I had on my desk. If I made this ball, this would be my exhibit. If this falls under STEM because I had to mix the polymers and everything together and I did all kinds of learning around STEM, STEM would be my project area. The exhibit would be my ball. The project area would be STEM. That's the best way I can do to explain it. As soon as I switch slides, I'll get that uploaded for you and you can take a look at that difference that I have there. The next one, what is needed? So what is needed for a fair project? So a building exhibit project, what all needs to be included? So there's an entry tag. Those are pre-printed by our office with the information that you enter in 4-H online or into fair entry when you sign up for that project. So it's important that if you know what you're bringing already, that you get that information as precise as possible, so that we can, if for some reason things get separated, we know that project, because we have a description, we know who it belongs to and what club it needs to get back to. The write-up slash goal questions. This can be a tricky one. So once I get my things uploaded here, I have a document on that as well. So this is 4 questions that need to be answered about every exhibit that is brought into the exhibit building. And they are, what did you learn in doing this project? Or what was your goal, I guess, is the first one. What did you learn as you worked toward your project? How did you do your project? And then what do you plan to do in this project area next year? Essentially, I kind of abbreviated them. There's full words, but without it here in front of me, I can't tell you the exact wording. But I'll upload a document for you in the chat as well that talks about that. And then finally, the exhibits. So there should be 3 things that you bring. Entry tag, which we mailed those out this year. Depending on how things are looking, they may get mailed again this year, or they'll be available to be picked up. The write-up or goal questions, and then the exhibit. So that's what you will take to your judge. The next question is, what is the judge looking for? That can be a hard one based on what type of exhibit you're bringing to them. So the state has put together exhibit tip sheets. And essentially, this is kind of a checklist of what different things a judge is looking for. We do offer judges training every 2 years. So hopefully next October, we'll be able to offer a judges training face-to-face again. And if you're ever interested in taking that, we do publish that event in Clover Power. But it's a great way to learn exactly what a judge is looking for. Even if you don't want to judge, it may help you with your children's projects and working forward to those. So there is that one in the tip sheet, that link to that. And the others, I'll get those uploaded while Megan's talking.
Yes, so one of the things that we usually have during the fair, this year we had it prior to the fair just because we weren't going to have the 4-H building, is our communication event. So for our communication event, entries are due just like all of our other fair projects or exhibits on July 1st via fair entry. And then it takes place during the county fair in the 4-H building. There are a few different categories for this. So we have educational presentations where youth or a group of youth pick a topic and they put together an educational presentation about that topic. So if you really enjoy crocheting, you could do an educational presentation on the history of crochet and teach us about that. Working exhibits are where individuals or groups of youth teach people how to make something. So you could have a working exhibit on how to make a stress ball with a balloon and some soybeans. And you would teach each individual person how to make that stress ball, and then they would walk away with that at the end of the day. We have extemporaneous speaking, or extemp, and that is for youth in 9th through 12th grade. They pick a topic out of a hat or a box or something on judging day, and then they pick 2 to 3 topics, and then they choose which topic they want to create a speech about. They're given 30 minutes to create that speech, and then they give that speech to a group. It's a lot of fun to watch, and they are very good at coming up with their speeches in a short amount of time. The next one is Share the Fun. This is for individuals or groups of youth to share a talent or a skit before an audience and their judges. So this could be anything from a music solo, like a French horn or a tuba, to a club skit about the county fair, magic tricks, or anything in between. Any talent that youth has, they are welcome to share that during Share the Fun. And the last one is our communication poster class. So there are 4 sets of topics that a youth can choose from, and they make a poster based on one of those topics, and then turn that in to be judged as well.
All right. You should have seen those documents that I was talking about pop up in the chat box, and they're PDFs. So feel free to take a look at those. If for some reason you want them even after this, just email me and say, hey, what are those things you shared? And I have a folder with them. I found it now. So some other fair related events, clothing event. This is one of my favorites. I think mainly because it stems that I started being involved with clothing event when I was in 3rd grade when I first started 4-H. So yeah, a few years ago, right, Megan? So entries due by July 1st via fair entry. There are 3 different events that you can select, and you can enter in all 3 of them if you choose. So the first one is clothing selection. You purchase an outfit for any dollar amount and for any occasion. So this means you can go to any store you want, go shop, and do that. One of my projects my senior year for clothing selection was my prom dress. So it was a great use that I got out of that. And I talked about why I chose that outfit for me. Next one is fashion review. This is when you construct, hand knit, or crochet a garment for yourself. Yeah, just like what it says, an outfit that you made. Kind of becoming a lost art is making your own clothing. But I have 10 years of all of my constructed clothing. Someday maybe I'll bring them out and share with the world again. $15 challenge. This one, it was not there when I was growing up, but I probably would have done it as well. You select or purchase an outfit from a consignment shop. The youth does for themselves without spending over $15. So this doesn't include accessories. This is the main outfit components. So how does this event work? The process is that you select your outfit, you complete a report form, you interview with a judge about your outfit prior to fair. Usually it's a Saturday before the county fair starts and held at our office in Altoona. This year it was done virtually. Then you'll have the opportunity to model your outfit at the fashion show during the county fair. Ribbons and top awards are given in each age division, with the senior exhibitors being able to advance onto the Iowa State Fair.
So another non-animal related fair event is our shooting sports event. This is also due entry in 4-H or fair entry by July 1st. It does take place prior to the fair, so it does not happen on the fairgrounds or during the fair. Certificates and ribbons, however, are awarded at the fair during the shooting sports recognition program. You do not have to be a member of our Hot Shots 4-H club, which is our shooting sports club, in order to participate, but you must have passed the required coursework for the discipline that the youth competes in, or have attended a hunter safety course. And we offer 4 disciplines. So we have shotgun, rifle, archery, traditional freestyle and compound, and then also muzzle loader for our shooting sports competitions.
And with this one, I guess there was a couple details I left off there, Megan. Was it usually happens the Saturday or Sunday before the fair, and it happens at the Isaac Walton League near Elkhart. So it really based upon their schedule of when we are able to hold the event. And so some other events here. Clover Dash 5K. So year 7 is this year, right? Yeah, year 7 of the Clover Dash 5K. It was started by a 16-year-old 4-H'er almost 7 years ago, and it has continued. So the money they use for college scholarships, grants towards the clubs, and if another group needed money, I'm pretty sure that the committee would take some requests to share or use those funds, because that is what it's designed for, is to give back to the 4-H'ers of Polk County. Anything goes. So we talked about the things that county council does. Anything goes. It's essentially, I call it like Barnyard Olympics. So the county council organizes different games and activities for clubs to compete in. Happens in the Jacobson Arena. And it's just the time for the clubs to be together. If I was gonna say, we recommend about 5 kids per club, if not more. And if clubs only have 1 or 2, we can combine them with another one. And I don't think a kid leaves without smiling that night. County Council pancake breakfast. They cook up a pancake breakfast, pancakes, sausage, juice, milk, and for a free will donation. Decorate a bale contest. So clubs or individuals can decorate a bale. Most of the time they tend to follow the fair theme, but that is not a requirement. We've had some pretty creative ones. Then they're on display for the remainder of the fair in the sheep barn. Little Tykes tractor pull. I believe this is open 4 years old through 12, I believe is the age range for that. So anyone can come and do the pedal pull, and I want to say it's $1 entry, and you must have closed-toed shoes are really the only requirements there. Adult and youth building open class. So taking, and I tend to be a little bit of a crafty person, as does Megan. We are able to enter our projects in the county fair as well and receive ribbon recognition. We may or may not have a little competition between us that she is apparently the proud holder of still. But yeah, so just kind of still an opportunity for us to enter the fair as well. Youth livestock open class. So youth, or Polk County youth who 4 years old through 3rd grade has the opportunity to compete in open class livestock. I believe every livestock species, with the exception of the dog, has an opportunity to show at our county fair. Dogs still can show under the pet division, just not under the dog division, because of the obedience in the different classes that dogs show in. So Bill Riley Talent Show is, I was gonna say, we've hosted that every year until this year. So that is an opportunity as well. And you just sign up through Bill Riley and you can compete in that. They do limit the number of people who can enter the show though. Teen Movie Night, it's another thing sponsored by the county council. They actually get a donation, so it is free. Sorry, I read the question. I'll come back to that one, Allie. Teen Movie Night, they sponsor a movie, free snacks, but we do ask that they're 13 years old through 12th grade, those people who attend that one. So it's just a great way for the teenagers to kind of have a night to themselves. Project the movie on the stage in the 4-H building is what we've done. Hopefully we can continue to do it in there. The next one is County Fair Barbecue. In the past, the Polk County Farm Bureau has sponsored a free will donation barbecue, and the money helps cover awards that we bring in from the free will donation. Other than that, it is a free barbecue put on by Farm Bureau, which also happens the same evening as the King and Queen coronation in the 4-H exhibit building. Allie asked the question of livestock open class, which breeds require sponsors? Ooh, I'm going to have to, give me just a second to open my fair book here so I can have a list of everything so I tell you correctly. Maybe. I'm gonna say, Megan, you know what? I could just do it off of this. Megan, do you want to read yours and then I'll come back and I'll say the open class?
Sure. So our animal livestock related fair events, we have the following animals that can be shown. So 4-Hers can exhibit their cat in our cat show. We have cattle, breeding, market, advanced cattle feeders, and dairy cattle. We have a cavy division. We have dog in obedience, rally, and showmanship. We have dairy goats, both breeding and market, and meat goats, also both breeding and market. Can exhibit horse in a lot of different classes. We have a pet show for almost any pet you could have, I believe, except pets that have to live in water and reptiles.
Yes.
We have a poultry show, and then we have rabbits, which can be fancy or commercial rabbit. We have sheep, which is breeding or market, and we have swine, which is also breeding or market.
All right, so back to Allie's question, because I mean, these are the things that I'm just like, oh, we know these, but we don't always know. People don't know what we know, because I've been in this position for 7 years, and so sometimes I forget some of the details. So with CAT, so going back to those open class kids, so 4 years old through 3rd grade, what can they exhibit? And some of them do require to have a 4-H sponsor. Others, you can bring your own animal. So I'm just going to kind of go through this list here that Megan just read and tell you which ones require a 4-H'er to sponsor and which one they can have their own, so, or have to have their own. So the first one there is CAT. This one they have to have their own. Just because they show at the same time, it's usually best if they can have their own animal. Cattle, there have been times where the bucket bottle calf that the youth is showing is also shown by a 4-H'er in the 4-H show. So this one can be, you can borrow a 4-H'er's calf, or it can be your own. Cavi, this one has to belong to that young youth, so the kindergarten or the 4-year-old through 3rd grade. Like I said, dog does not have that class. Dairy goats, this can be a 4-H'ers or it can be your own. Same thing with meat goat. Same thing with horse. You can actually we switched this rule a year ago that if an exhibitor has their own horse, they can bring it in. Pet, it can belong to the individual, or you can use a 4-H'ers. Poultry, it must belong to the exhibitor, so that 4-year-old through 3rd grade. Same thing with rabbit. Sheep, you can bring in your own, or you can borrow from a 4-H'er. Swine must be sponsored by a 4-H'er. All of those ones where I said you're able to bring your own, you do have to make sure that you have a health paper for that animal. Every animal that comes to the county fair needs to have a vet issued health paper. So that is required as well. So that's one thing to think of if you're using someone else's versus a 4-H'ers. Hopefully that helps everyone. It can get rather confusing, so if you ever have any questions, just let us know. Also, if you're interested in showing one of those and you know a 4-year-old through a 3rd grade, but you're like, I don't know anyone who shows swine, let us know. We can help you make those connections. But it's a great chance for youth to have exposure to exhibiting those animals. All right, so we'll get into our events that start to be livestock or are livestock related. Unfortunately, some of these did not get to happen last year. So I'll talk about those so you can maybe look forward to them happening this year if things can kind of go back to normal. So there is a livestock auction for those meat-based animals. And if we stick to our same schedule, it'll happen on a Friday afternoon this next year. Prior to that, it had been Monday mornings. So we'll see what the Fair Board decides to do with the schedule. With the livestock auction, we do encourage 4-H'ers to help us get those bidders there. If you do business with somebody, it's a great opportunity for them to come support you in your with your project. And it can be a little complicated, but essentially the person who buys it does not pay the whole price of the animal. They only pay the premium price. So it's whatever is above market price is what they end up paying. So sometimes it's a little bit, sometimes it's a little bit more, but it's not the whole cost of the animal. And you don't have to take the animal home. It can go to market. If you have anyone who has questions about that, let me know. Have a whole document that explains it all. But yeah. Herdsmanship. So clubs compete in herdsmanship, and prize is $75 per species. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do it this year as we were trying to limit the number of people there, but we have people come through and judge how clean your area is and how well your animals are taken care of. One big thing with herdsmanship is if a judge has to look really hard to find out what club you belong to, sometimes they end up not giving you very many points or any points at all. So if you are showing livestock, it's important to make sure that you identify what club your animals are with. Skillathon, this is taking the place of our livestock judging. So it'll be a little less time consuming, which is one of the complaints that we heard about livestock judging. But a skillathon will be a series of 5 or 6, maybe even a few more for the seniors, different skills that go along with caring for livestock. This isn't just open to livestock exhibitors. This can be any 4-H'er or FFA member, but that is our goal with that. Skillathons do take place at the Iowa State Fair as well and are open to anyone to enter. And I believe there will be a state competition for a skillathon next year as well, and those can advance to a national competition. Supreme Showmanship. This was another new one for us this year that we were looking forward to. I'm going to get my species wrong here, but essentially the senior showmanship winner for cattle, meat goat, dairy goat. Oh, nope, that's wrong. I think just meat goat, sheep, swine, and horse. I don't remember if we had dairy in there or not. I can't remember off the top of my head. So the senior showmanship winner for each of those will take and exhibit an animal in each of those other species. So essentially, the horse exhibitor will be exhibiting sheep, swine, cattle, and goat. And if you're not familiar with those, it can be a little bit challenging. So that gives an opportunity to crown a supreme showmanship, and who knows essentially a lot about other livestock species, not just the one that they exhibit. A lot of other counties around us do it and have had a lot of success. So we're looking forward to adding that one to ours. The next one is Bacon Buddies. A couple of years ago, I guess it's been 2 years now, the Iowa State Fair took and worked with, I don't even remember what group they worked with, but essentially they partnered 4-H and FFA swine exhibitors with a youth with special needs and taught them how to exhibit pigs. And so they had an opportunity to exhibit an animal in the show ring and that kind of stuff. So it's a great experience, and we're hoping to do that at the Polk County Fair. Our goal was to last year start off with swine, see how it goes, get our bugs figured out, and then hopefully add other livestock species along the way. So once again, we'll start off with swine this next year, and we'll see how it goes, and hopefully we can continue to grow that program. Building exhibits. So yep, there's the livestock, the physical showing of the animal. However, there's things you can do inside the building exhibits that don't require ownership of animals. Animal science. So doing learning about an animal. even if you do have the animal, you can still do an animal science project because chances are you learn something throughout the year. Vet science, you can look at the diseases, the different things like that that go along with caring for animals. And then the last one is the communication event. Not sure about any of your youth who do exhibit animals, but if I was a 4-H'er, I could go on for days about my animal. How do I care for my horse? Okay. Growing up, I would have loved that because I could have done it very easily. So that's another opportunity for them to share learning about their livestock species.
Thank you for watching. For more information on Polk County 4-H programming, connect with us by email at polk4h@iastate.edu or by phone at 515-957-5760.